What's up, family? Trail here, and we finally are seeing a shift in the politics from what we have seen in the past. We are now seeing our former president, Donald Trump, announcing that he is ready to work with President Joe Biden on a major crisis that is brewing up right now in politics. Well, this is the first time ever that we have seen both of these guys willing to agree on the same thing at the same time. Maybe it's because both of them are both facing concerns right now regarding those classified documents being held outside of the White House. But anyways, guys, also in the news, we have President Biden is planning on meeting with the new House Speaker, Kevin McCarthy, to talk about the debt ceiling issues, as well as what else is on the current agenda right now, and basically how they can work together to get things accomplished. But McCarthy said that he wants to tell Biden what a horrible job he has been doing. So this should be very interesting, to say the least. But anyways, hey, before we get started, you guys already know what to do. Make sure that you'll subscribe to the channel, as well as hit the like button for the YouTube algorithm. Now let's go ahead and start with the video. Well, guys, things are about to get even uglier in the U.S. as well as in the economy, and that is because we have a new debt ceiling that is approaching. Yes, we have finally reached the debt ceiling, in which the government is now needing to go ahead and increase the debt ceiling in order to continue to be able to pay off their debts and their responsibilities. But the GOP is pretty much in between that from happening. Yes, the GOP is trying to come in between the Democrats being able to increase the debt limit in order for the government to continue to run its course, which means for the GOP that they will continue to blow money while President Biden is in the White House. But guys, this is getting very tricky, because allowing the debt ceiling to actually occur would mean that the government is not going to be able to pay its bills, which means that this economy could end up turning into a tragedy. So the question is, will the Republicans continue to block this from actually happening, or will they actually coincide and work with the Democrats to increase the debt limit in order for the government to continue to keep running? Well, we don't know as of yet, guys, but what we do know is the clock is now ticking on the nation's debt ceiling drama. And here we are again, guys. We seem like we just left this same type of situation, and here we are again about to have it once again, which pretty much puts the American people at risk, because we all know that the American people, yes, guys, those are the ones that are going to suffer the most. But anyways, guys, it says right here that the U.S. is hitting its borrowing cap this past Thursday, which is going to trigger the Treasury Department to start taking extraordinary measures to prevent a default. Yes, guys, while Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen doesn't expect the U.S. to default on its debt before early June, Congress has to get serious about negotiating a solution, which is not expected to be easy. Obviously, we know right now, guys, dealing with our situation in this economy, yes, guys, it is very hard to get the Democrats to actually work with the Republicans. However, I do have some good news sometime in this video today, so make sure that you stick around until the end. Yes, guys, it says right here that the U.S. hits its debt limit, setting a June deadline as Capitol Hill continues to fight and it continues to intensify. Yes, the Treasury Department says that it can continue to pay its bills using extraordinary measures for several more months before Congress must act to avert a default. Yes, guys, it seems like we have heard this once, time and time again, and here we are hearing with it and dealing with it once again, which is not a good time right now, because we are already facing a recession that we are dealing with this year, guys. We have seen multiple companies like Microsoft laying off 12,000 people, Google announcing yesterday they're laying off 12,000 people, and then Amazon, guys, the largest employer in this country, has now officially said that they are going to be laying off 18,000 people, guys. And it doesn't stop there, guys. We also have seen other companies in the retail business also laying off individuals as well. So this is definitely not a good time to see something like this happen to the U.S. economy. So Congress, as well as lawmakers, need to get their act together. They have got to fix this, and they only have a short period of time to make it happen. But anyways, guys, we did receive a letter to congressional leaders on Thursday. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen said that those special financial tools to meet the country's obligations can continue until at least Monday, June the 5th of this year. After they expire, Congress will need to act to prevent a government default. Yes, guys, Yellen said in a letter that the period of time that extraordinary measures may last is subject to considerable uncertainty, including the challenge of forecasting the payments and receipts of the U.S. government months into the future. And she said right here that, look, I respectfully urge Congress to act promptly to protect the full faith and credit of the United States, she wrote in this letter. But again, guys, like I told you earlier in the video, the GOP is trying to actually make this happen. They want the country to default because they want it to happen under President Biden, because they believe that President Biden continues to spend money and they want the bleeding of spending to actually stop, in which the new House Speaker, Kevin McCarthy, is calling on his Republicans to go ahead and fight this so that they can actually cause a default on President Biden, so that they can hopefully put all the blame on President Biden. They are calling on President Biden, saying that he is to blame for the inflation in this country as well as the new debt ceiling issues. Yes, guys, they are saying that President Biden is considered as a big spender. He is spending billions, if not trillions of dollars right now as he is the current president of the United States. We know that he continues to approve of billions of dollars to be sent over to Ukraine because they are fighting this war with Russia right now, guys. And yes, who is going to front this bill? The American people, the taxpayers. Those are the ones that have to continue to pay these types of bills for the U.S. government, in which, by the way, the U.S. government just announced that the U.S. deficit in this country has just reached $31.4 trillion, and it continues to rise each and every day. But anyways, guys, like I said, it says right here that in just 2 years, President Joe Biden's presidency, our national debt has grown by $3.8 trillion alone. Beginning in 1929, it took the U.S. Treasury 61 years to accumulate that much borrowing. Yet President Biden has the temerity to call Republicans fiscally demented. What is he talking about? Yes, guys. Anyways, the fight over raising the debt ceiling is just beginning, and already the embattled president is insulting those who oppose his reckless spending, which is, as I write this article, crashing our economy. Yes, guys, we are entering into a recession, if I haven't said it already. And yes, guys, it will get even worse. The downturn and the name calling has to stop. They are calling President Biden, saying that the name calling must stop right now. And yes, President Biden tossed trillions of dollars in unnecessary COVID-19 relief onto a fast recovering economy, punching up inflation to 40-year highs as too many dollars chase too few of goods. But anyways, guys, like I said in the last video, I talked about it there. If you haven't already, go ahead and watch that video, because we have a disaster brewing up right now, guys, and it is going to happen this year. You and your family and your loved ones need to prepare yourselves, because the warning has been issued. You must act now to try to protect your family for the future, guys. It is going to get worse, guys. Like I said, go ahead and watch that video from yesterday, guys. But anyways, guys, the good news is that White House has announced that President Biden is planning on meeting with the new House Speaker, Kevin McCarthy, in the next coming weeks. They don't necessarily have a date in place right now, but they will be meeting to go ahead and discuss a few things, such as the debt ceiling, how they can work together to get this thing passed to increase the debt limit in order for the government to continue to keep running, as well as some other issues in regards to how the government is running, as well as the spending that is happening in Ukraine right now. But the biggest question is, what will McCarthy say to President Biden? Because we've heard previously that Kevin McCarthy, he said that he wants to tell the president what a horrible job he is doing and he has done over the past 24 months. So anyways, guys, will he actually say that to the president? Well, we don't know as of yet, guys, but we have to assume that they are pretty much on good terms, because Biden has been in office for several years and McCarthy has been in office for several years. So obviously they have worked on previous projects in the past. But will McCarthy, now that he is the new House Speaker, will he stand up to President Biden and tell him how he really feels about his handling of the ceiling debt, as well as the economy, as well as the inflation in this country, and a few other things as well, guys. But anyways, like I said, President Biden looks forward to meeting with the Speaker McCarthy to discuss the range of issues as part of a series of meetings with all new congressional leaders to start the year, which is a good thing that he's taking the time out to meet all of those new individuals that were recently elected into as a lawmaker or things like that, guys. So anyways, guys, we'll look forward to that particular meeting, and hopefully it does make a little bit of progress in regards to improving this U.S. economy, and hopefully they can actually prevent this recession from happening, because Americans are struggling right now, guys. They just don't even have nowhere to turn to. They have nowhere to go, guys, especially our Social Security recipients, those individuals that depend on these particular checks that are coming from the government. They are scared right now, guys. They really don't have any other option but to accept what the government does, what they do. But anyways, guys, moving on, we do want to talk about this particular information because we do know a lot of information is going out right now in regards to the president, as well as in regards to the former president as well. Both of them have been caught with classified documents, in which, guys, it really hurts President Biden because he was pretty much improving in the polls as of lately before the classified documents issue. Yes, guys, we have saw where President Biden has been making a tons of great strides in regards to his presidency. But now this issue with the classified documents, guys, his poll is pretty much underwater right now. Yes, guys, President Biden's approval rating remains underwater as the president prepares for an anticipated re-election bid, according to the new Harvard poll survey that was released this past Friday. The poll found that 42% of respondents strongly or somewhat approve of Biden's job as the president, including 12% of Republicans, and 76% of Democrats and 34% of independents said that he is doing an okay job. So yes, guys, President Biden right now is really sinking in the polls, and definitely in regards to running for the next presidential election. However, on the flip side, former President Donald Trump is actually doing pretty good in the new poll in regards to the GOP 2024 presidential race. Yes, it says right here that the former President Donald Trump is clear favorite to win the 2024 Republican presidential nominee, despite Florida Governor Ron DeSantis. Yes, guys, they are saying in this new poll, 48% of Republican voters said that they would back Donald Trump if he were to continue to run for the next presidency. And only 28% said that they would actually support Florida Governor Ron DeSantis. While that's good news for Trump, DeSantis saw a 3-point bump in support since last month. But anyways, guys, if you look at these particular polls, you can see that Donald Trump is in the purple right here. And guys, he is pretty much out racing everyone in this particular poll, guys. So if you are a Trump supporter, you are definitely excited about this information. And if you're not, well, obviously you'll just have to hope for the best, guys. But anyways, guys, like I said, President Biden, his polls is going down, and the former President Donald Trump, his polls are going up. But the good news in regards to both of these particular individuals, they have finally decided to work together for the common good of the American people, especially our Social Security recipients. Yes, guys, those are the most vulnerable right now in this country, and we really need to make sure that we protect them. We need to protect the programs that provide the additional funds and benefits for them each and every month, just for them to be able to survive. And guys, the good news is that we have the former President Donald Trump and the current President Joe Biden now in agreement with the same issue, guys, for the common good of our Social Security recipients. And yes, guys, we already know that President Biden says that he does not want to end the Social Security program. And guess what, guys? Donald Trump has actually said the same. He told the Republicans, he told the GOP earlier this week that, look, guys, I'm telling you this. If you want to win, if you want to move forward, look, you need to listen to me. I am Donald Trump, and I know what I'm talking about. He told the GOP, he said, look, under no circumstances should Republicans try to cut Social Security or Medicare. Yes, guys, Donald Trump is now in line with President Biden. They are pretty much saying the same thing. As I told you earlier in the video, that GOP was trying to figure out how they can find ways to cut down Social Security as well as cut down Medicare. However, Donald Trump has now stood up to his own people in his party and said that, look, guys, you better not do it under no circumstances. You have got to not try to cut any part of Social Security. They have already gone through enough, and they're projected to go through even more throughout the rest of this year, guys, because we are facing this recession. And Donald Trump has said it best, guys. Under no circumstances should the Republicans try to cut funding for Social Security. We need to support our Social Security recipients, guys. And yes, guys, like I said, this is some great news because Donald Trump and Joe Biden have finally agreed on the same thing at the same time, guys. What do you think about this? Do you agree with this? I certainly do. I am definitely happy to see this because from past history, we know that Republicans continue to try to cut Social Security, if not in the entitlement programs altogether. They believe that this spending is causing the government to go down. They want to cut Social Security altogether. However, guys, Donald Trump has just stated the opposite. So yes, guys, this is some great news. He says that, look, President Biden argued with Republicans in Congress not to cut a single penny from Medicare or Social Security, a notable warning as some GOP lawmakers continue to prepare to use the debt ceiling debate as leverage to try to secure some budget cuts in the future, guys. But Donald Trump said, do not do that. Use other methods of cutting budget cuts. But again, guys, like I said, this is some awesome news. We are hoping to see more news like this because, like I said, I will continue to fight for our Social Security recipients as well as our Medicare individuals that depend on these benefits every single month to be paid out to them and their families. This is the only way that they can actually survive. And with the inflation rising to 40-year highs as of recently, guys, they are still not even receiving enough money. Even though they received an 8.7% increase, it's still not enough money, guys. So we definitely need to make sure that these Social Security programs continue to be paid out every single month, which is the reason why lawmakers and Congress and the president need to figure out a way to increase the debt ceiling by the deadline of June of this year. This is very important, guys. So anyways, guys, like I said, we will continue to follow this information. But again, you need to be mindful of this. And if you can, go ahead and try to think about what you're going to do just in case the government decides to default on the responsibilities. We haven't ever seen this in the past, but you never know, guys. We've never seen a pandemic in the past, but look what happened in 2020. So you need to prepare yourselves. Find out different ways to actually provide for yourself in case they cut these particular programs or the government defaults on their loans and they don't increase the debt ceiling. You need to know what you're going to do if that actually happens. Hopefully it doesn't, guys. Keep your fingers crossed. But just in case, you'll have a plan in place, guys. And hopefully I provided some information to you that was definitely beneficial for you or your family or your loved ones, guys. And if you know anyone that could benefit from this video, please share it to them. I would definitely appreciate it. But anyways, guys, I hope all this information in this video was helpful to you today. Well, anyways, guys, hey, that's all I have for you today. But don't forget, go ahead and hit the like button for us. It really helps out this channel, as well as if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to the channel. And in addition to that, guys, don't forget about the links down below because there are some great ways for you to be able to support this channel if you choose to. But I would greatly appreciate it if you do. But anyways, guys, hey, I hope you enjoyed this video and I hope to see you on the next one. Peace.